Shalini, wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
And I wish all the good luck to all the international poets, those who have joined on the platform of iSPELL. Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes. So on behalf of iSPELL, I welcome all the international delegates, those who have joined on the platform of iSPELL, to have a wonderful evening in India, maybe morning in some other countries, afternoon in some other countries, on a very good and encouraging poetic conclave.
Yes, Dr. Shalini ma'am, please start.
Yes. And an extremely blessed morning, afternoon, or evening to intellectuals, poets, and writers from distinctive geographical areas who are present here for this lyrical feast. Indian Society for the Promotion of English Language and Literature, appealing iSPELL India with its sole objective of reaching all literarians and creative souls in all corners of the world to provide them a platform. Today seems an attained one now. In the month of November, creativity, when it is at its peak, in the past 3 events, we had with us beginner and expert poets from iSPELL India. On the second and third Sundays, we had with us award-winning acclaimed poets and authors Rochelle Potker and Arundhati Subramaniam ma'am. Today, in 63rd Sunday Sahityak Satsang, a platform of literary discourse beyond boundaries of all kinds, a rise in the value of universal brotherhood and emotional oneness of mankind, being the need of hour, can be witnessed on the platform of Indian Society for the Promotion of English Language and Literature, iSPELL India, where esteemed poets Annette, Tarpley, Dennis, Jill, Latin are from USA, Helen and John from Philippines, Dimritis from Greece, and Anze from Germany, Samuel from Dominican Republic, Sarfraz from UK, are all going to recite their aesthetic pieces that are human, compassionate, and sensitive, spreading peace and harmony at global level. Today, I feel privileged to welcome you all here. Without much delay, I would like to introduce the moderator of today's session to relish the poetry of all our international guests. And it is really a matter of honor, and I really take privilege and feel pleasure introducing our today's moderator, Professor Anupma Vora ma'am, who is the president of iSPELL India and who is going to moderate the session further today. Ma'am is a professor at DE University at Jammu and was fellow at Indian Institute of Advanced Study, Rashtrapati Niwas, Shimla during 2012 to 14, where she worked on Kashmiri testimonial literature. Ma'am, being a true academician, has participated and presented papers on different range of sensible literary topics in various national and international conferences held by well-established universities of various countries, including Oman, South Korea, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Turkey, Italy, USA, Poland, Rome, Russia, Hong Kong, what not to say. More than it, ma'am has edited and written various books. She has delivered more than 100 lectures, and she is a British Council certified IELTS trainer also. And ma'am has played very active role at University of Jammu, performing many roles. So it is a matter of honor for me, and it gives me immense pleasure to read the bio note of such a well-read and modest persona. Ma'am has also been facilitated by the Vice Chancellor, University of Jammu, for bringing out coffee table book rich, vibrant future. And ma'am has been a guiding force for many research scholars who are currently working under her supervision. So please, wholeheartedly, I would like to welcome ma'am. It is really encouraging for all of us to do more in life when we read such kind of bio notes. And I just wish you good luck to start the proceedings further. Over to you, ma'am, please. Carry forward.
Thank you, Shalini, for such a wonderful introduction. And first of all, our heartiest welcome on behalf of India, on behalf of iSPELL, and on my own personal behalf to all the international poets. See, the pandemic had its worst also, but the beauty, the good things of pandemic are that we are all together. I think this is what makes life move forward. Not taking much of the time, I don't want to stand between all the poets whom we are very eager to hear and the audience who have joined us on Zoom, on live streaming, YouTube also. So I'll invite the first speaker. Our first speaker today is Annette, and Annette Tarpley. I welcome you, and I'll be reading a very brief bio note about you, because more we want to listen to you and relish and enjoy your poetry. What is very special about Annette Tarpley is that she works as a nurse practitioner by the day, and she writes poetry during night, and her collection of more than 110 poems, Poetry Potpourri, is available on Amazon. And recently, in February 2021, her collection, which she has co-authored with Sarfaraz Ahmed, who is also with us, titled Two Hearts, A Journey into Heartfelt Poetry, has been well acclaimed. And besides that, she's also the founder and administrator of the Passion of Poetry, the Facebook site, which is just 1 year old, but it has more than 13,000 members. And currently, she's also, with her different duties, she's also working on her next poetry collection. With these words, I welcome you, Annette, and we would love to hear your poetry. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, and I'm very happy to be here with you all. Actually, the Passion of Poetry has grown now to over 15,000, so we're a fast rising site. The first poem I would like to recite, I just wrote a couple days ago. It's called The Eyes Don't Lie. Look deep into my eyes, they will tell you what I think as I ride the waves of life, telling if I float or sink. Look deeply again, do you see a hint of sorrow? Is there faith in today? Is there hope in my tomorrows? Look yet again, is there a mystery you detect? I may lower my gaze, for my secrets I will protect. Look into my eyes, do you see deep-seated fear? I would never admit it, for being scared, you will not hear. They say eyes, they are the windows. You see the soul through the eyes. If my reflection is my reflection that transparent, am I able to disguise? They are filled with emotion, the eyes don't lie. Joy you can see, when sad, tears fill the eyes. So that is that. And I recently wrote one that I do a lot of storytelling. And I usually try to do lessons in them or some kind of a moral. This one is called The Legend of Jack. Down in a meadow with a mountainous view, surrounded by woods, sits a shack. The people who live near this hollow know the mysterious tenant named Jack. Jack lived out his life with no one. He was alone. He was well known as a county's recluse. He had a still in the backwoods, made his own shine, and frequently partook of his juice. When Jack went to town, people would stare. A bit disheveled he would appear. Once a year, Jack would offer his land a grand celebration with plenty of kegs of beer. It was the only time Jack had company. He had bands playing plenty of bluegrass. He offered games for the children, chasing chickens. Jack would join in and ran mighty fast. Despite his kind gesture, people would ridicule, scoff, and talk behind his back. If he was down and out and in need of help, no one would lend a hand to help poor old Jack. Bordering his land was rushing creek with lots of water. Rain flowed high on the bank. Little Sally fell in. She couldn't swim. After she screamed, she quickly sank. Jack came to the rescue, dived in and saved her. People helped pull her onto the grass. That was the last they saw him. The undercurrent took him. He sacrificed his life for the last. Funny how things turn around. No one scoffed anymore. Jack's legend continued on. The musicians got together. They wrote a ballad. Jack lived on through the lyrics of song. And so that is that. I have one more. I think I would, you can have 10 minutes, right? I might have time for 2 quick ones.
Yeah.
I wrote one recently, and it has received a lot of attention, and it's called Farewell, My Love. This is a little love story. Waves crashing onto the sands on a dark moonlit night. The moon and stars, her audience, captured her tear within their light. Languishing, she strolled along, a ceramic vessel in her arms. She pulled his sweater around her, his masculine scent warding off harm. She smiled at the glimpses of memories enough to last a lifetime. He had told her she aged to perfection. He compared her to a fine wine. Was that his laughter she could hear in the damp, salty air? For a moment, she closed her eyes. His breath, the breeze in her hair. She stumbled across a large curved shell, picking it up, holding it to her ear. She could hear the sound of this ocean they loved. They visited every year. Time had lapsed that cool, dark night. Now she would do her mission. Out of the corner of her eye, she thought she saw him, a welcome vision. She opened the top of the vessel she held, his ashes contained within, releasing now into the ocean, imagining he was looking down with a grin. The sky lit with brilliant colors, the sun rose, now shining so bright, bathed with the warmth of his love, unleashed by the dawning light. Farewell, my love, ride the high tides, let it take you out to sea. There will always be a part of you that will forever reside within me. And that is that. And lastly, I would like to read one from the Two Hearts with Sarfraz Ahmad. And this is called The Goodbye Letter. And it actually is about saying goodbye to an emotion, hate. But it doesn't sound like that when I'm reading it first. I'm writing you this letter to tell you I no longer want to be in your life. We were not intimate partners. I have never been your wife. You led me down a darkened path filled with evil and discord. It cost me peace within my heart, a denomination I cannot afford. I'm writing you this letter to make it clear that I'm done with you. I'm through with your negativity and your cynical point of view. You are the lover of many. You have infected us all. You roamed the earth in search of a new lover to befall. In this letter, I'm strongly conveying, I'm shutting you out of my life. No more roller coaster rides, no more endless hours of strife. For a while you had me under your spell, a potion of you I drank. My heart was slowly dying. I had only you to thank. For you, it was nothing but power and control. You reveled in power. Everything you had ever touched soon curdled and grew sour. To be truthful, you, I never really loved. I never did adore. I'm forever walking out on you. Behind me, I closed the door. Go on and find someone new, ruin their destiny and fate. This is the last that you will hear from me. I expose you. Your name is hate. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Annette. It was wonderful listening to 4 beautiful poems which you have recited. And once again, thank you for sharing your work with us on this virtual platform. Our next poet is Dennis Brown from US welcome Dennis. And Dennis has been recognized for his writing worldwide, and he has received numerous accolades and has published work including the one which has been recently released, The Literary Parrot, if I'm not wrong in that. And currently he is working on his debut book of poetry, which will soon be released. And with these words, I welcome you on this virtual platform, and we are very eager to listen to you, Dennis.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's quite an honor. And I must add that I'm also an administrator on the Passion of Poetry. So I'm privileged to work with Miss Annette, Tarpley, Sarfraz, Helen, and the rest of the staff. So yes. All right. So I'm going to read my first poem is called Special Moments. I just wrote this a short while ago. Life gives us special moments to cherish and to hold, from the moment of our first breath to the moment we grow so old. Special moments live within our hearts, each holding its place in time. And we may have moments among one another, but each moment is yours and forever mine. We go through life at God's grand pace. As we embrace each day he sets aside, and he leaves behind these special moments to remind us that we're still alive. As we look upon these days we have and search for what we have been given, these special moments remind our souls that the life we have is still worth living. So cherish every special moment as they're made for you and I. For each special moment will mark the way of a life destined to pass us by. So that was Special Moments. This next one is called The 21st of May. Thoughts of you pass gently by, like the billowy clouds in a clear blue sky. I remember like it was yesterday. It was a perfect Friday on the 21st of May. We spent the day in each other's arms, lying in the wheat field of my father's farm. I said I loved you for the very first time. You kissed my lips and said you were mine. We spent that evening under a moonlit sky. Not a single moment seemed to ever pass by. Time had stopped for us that day. The hands of time had lost its way. Our eyes never left each other's sight as we held each other long through the night. How your face sparkled like the brightest star that could be seen from near and from afar. I know we'll be back in that wheat field again. I just don't know when that time is when. But for now, I'll forever cherish that day on that perfect Friday, the 21st of May. All right, thank you. My third poem is called An Angel Fell from Heaven. An angel fell from heaven, banished from God's good grace, with a pair of soiled angel wings and a mark of sin upon its face. The gates of heaven opened up and sent this tainted angel out into a world full of saints and sinners to remember what life was once about. God looked upon this troubled soul as it searched for solace from its past and knew that soon this fallen angel would find the answers it never asked. The angel prayed back to the heavens to again be rescued from this earth and live among the chosen few with all who knew their innate worth. As the angel entered heaven's gate, God spoke these words in an unerring decree. There will always be lessons to learn, but it's up to you to find your way back to me. Thank you. And my last one here I'd like to read is When My Ship Comes In. When my ship comes in, I'll bow out gracefully because I know my time has come. My ship has sailed its final sea. At times the water's been so calm, other times it's been so very rough, but I've weathered every mighty storm and anchored down when things got tough. My children have been my keel, My wife has been my mast, all providing helping hands on deck as I steer my ship from waters past. The many splendors of my voyage and every moment lost at sea has made me who I am today, the valiant captain of my ship's journey. But when my ship comes in at last, that's not the end for me. I'll remain the captain of my ship for all of eternity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis Brown. Very sensuous poems you have recited. And our next speaker now is Helen Serrita, and she's from Philippines. And something very encouraging about her is that she gathered the Filipino poets, and she met in the international group of poetry and awaken and encourage other poets also to speak their hearts. And she believes, and that's something very encouraging for all of us, that it is the poets who can break the barriers, and they can unite the nations and create groups. And this is, I think, which is most required in this present time of conflict, tensions around the world. We welcome you, and we would love to listen to you.
Thank you so much for this for that wonderful introduction, Dr. Anupama. And thank you, Dr. Shalini Yadav, for inviting me. Namaste, namaste. I'm going to read now my poem, my first poem, When My Spirit Commands. I write when I like my words to care, like a consoling hand on your shoulder. When I get tense about the days ahead and I want my soul and mind to escape. When I have a roller coaster emotion that suddenly goes up, suddenly goes down. I write not just on my peaceful bed, but even when I'm on board in a noisy ship. I write when I want to shout the world and spread my words across the globe. I write to express my immense gratification and share my creations with all nations. I write when I like to convey gratitude to my friends who look up not only to my weaknesses, but my worthiness. Not only when the sky is studded with stars and moon, I write even my dark night is blue and is in gloom. And amid my busy mind and lazy hands, I write when my spirit commands. That's number one. And now, poem number 2, No Regrets. My arduous journey of a lifetime, having no choice or the right to refuse. I was born to live and love for this mission. It's sometimes so heavy, yet full of adventure. In this journey, I have no way of turning back. I have to move, to go on and search my luck. As things get hard in this challenging situation I face, it's just a sign that I am now in a tunnel of success. One day I will wake up reminiscing wonderful memories, wonderful experiences of pains molded by its magical spices. I see myself smiling with things I remember from the past, the sweets of my tension and things which were good and bad. I can see myself thinking or thanking even to the dark moon in my night. I thank the tears that cleanse my lens for me to look bright. I thank those unfaithful friends for leaving me a great lesson, and I thank the tease of life visiting me for a good reason. I have learned a lot about what life teaches me in this journey. To humble me, be grateful in all things and be merry. The measurement of success is the joy of heart, not the wealth. The best thing is to smile with the pain and have no regrets. Thank you. And now I will proceed to my third poem. When will be the right time? My pen cries to utter what my heart silently murmurs. Would it cover what my thoughts wish to speak for? Would there be an ending to this abyss of distress that somehow would change to unity and happiness? Would be the writer's inks have enough power to transform the dust into love and light vastness? Nothing impossible. That's the believers are standing for. Would the little ink left in our pens show its own essence? Would be the calling of our passion be also a part of uniting nations? Can we speak out not to bash, but access to peace? Why can't we pray for every race, culture, and belief? That we aren't here to fight, and towards its principle, we do have respect. That whenever we talk softly and not harshly, we can mellow down hatreds. That is futile to use our fingers to point out others' faults or mistakes. Why are we so inclined to side with whom we stand for? It's time to look for the lives of our brethren and not to feed our hunger for power as we dwell on earth just temporarily. That whether we like it or not, we will leave this place bringing nothing and handling empty. Why we can't understand that we might be right and we might also be wrong. There are no sides from our sides which are completely bright and blue. There will always be a way to find our equilibrium. Why we can't go out and be an instrument for unity and oneness, for us to fight this apocalypse we are facing at the moment and will continue to be meeting if we won't ask for wisdom and be faith. My heart is a yearning in ardent. How about yours? I firmly believe we can have our share to whatever our status in life. We may be rich or poor, as those people who are blind now can be a temple of love in the future. If we won't start it now, then when the right time is. Love and sacrifice for once the world is needing us. Show your talents not only in a contest, but in a context of unselfishness. Let us be a source of love in the form of art one God has bestowed upon us. Thank you. And let's go to the last poem, Nothing Impossible in the Heaven Beneath. This is my real story. Nothing impossible in the heaven beneath. My children are my golden treasure. Bringing back my thoughts to my yesteryears. My story began when I was a teenage mother. Through breastfeeding, I nurtured my first son till no milk from me I could squeeze upon. I wish to feed him nutrients he essentially needs to abound. I lacked to provide him. My world seemingly didn't go round. It bled my heart as my purse was thin and empty. Windows were only open, were covered by sacks. That was how petty were we. And nothing could be found in every corner of a dinky shelter. Even tiny ashes of regrets couldn't be found in there. How bare it was representing me. From there, I just learned to dream, though not for me, but for them. I believe it's not late to create a nest for my coming children. Behind that huge mountain, I whispered my wishes for them. At night, as I gazed up the skies, I asked the stars to guide me in leading my way. I was to be one of them, glittering and sparklingly. Yes, it was never too late to build my elusive dreams. I heard the whisper of the bees carried by an optimistic breeze. There will be beautiful days coming ahead. And I was motivated by those dreams. I started to carry sack on my shoulder. I climbed mountains. I shouted, used clothing for sale. I made donuts though I wasn't good enough. House to house, I was selling any stuff, just enough to have fare and offering for a Sunday mass. And I started to pray so intensely. I dazzled myself to the city. I know I could be more than me. My potential was savvy. If they can do, why can't I? I grabbed opportunities knocking my door. I started to level up and learn for more. I patiently carried my life. I embraced obstacles and strive. My love for my children was simply my inspiration. They energized me behind my tiredness. I could afford to grin and bear behind difficulties. They were the reason why I have to go out, rain or shine, as I could not stop dreaming even for a short while. Yet life never stopped teasing me. Tears were entwined in my way. Below the belt, I was being hit. My softness was abused by the wicked. For more, I learned life, and I even learned to write. I work hard without limit. In my work, I poured my spirit. I gambled myself bravely to the challenge of this world. My journey has never been smooth. I tackled every inch of my worth. Yet I never whined. I continue to walk with faith, come what may. Though I fell and stumbled, it is an arduous part of my path to cross. It had to be that way, yet life was still good. And like a mother eagle, I ventured across the sea. I soared to the high sky, rising to the great heights. Storm befallen, but I never been ravaged by my undying courage. Another day, another sunshine. To humanity I have to bind. My guide is my daughter watching me from heaven. In my womb also she suffered the indescribable pain I have been. Now she's the most amorous angel with her candid tears. She shielded me with her wings. I am fearless and afraid to venture my strength to this universe. Nothing impossible in the heaven beneath. Now I savored my own self and every trial I never took until I could give them that mountain where I started to create my dreams. They are my treasure. My treasure is my 5 loving children, 6 including the one in heaven. They are preparing my exquisite crown as I am their endearing queen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Helen. It was awesome listening to you. In simple words, you have conveyed thoughts which have layers of meaning and which invite introspection. We'll always remember it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Our next speaker is Sarfaraz Ahmed, and he's from UK, and he has been writing poetry for the last more than 18 years and has contributed in many anthologies, and his poetry books 84 Pins and My Teachers and Alien got published in 2020. And his second collection of poetry, along with Annette, Two Hearts and Stab the Pomegranate collective poetry, has been published in 2021. Besides being a poet, he is an administrator of the large Passion of Poetry group on Facebook. And in May 2021, Administrators Poetry and Literature World Vision recognized him as a world contributor poet for his contribution to poetry. With these words, I welcome you.
Thank you very much. It's been fantastic hearing I think such an emotive poetry today. So thank you very much. Okay, so for my poetry, for today, I'm going to read from the books, but I'm also going to read brand new poetry that I don't think I've ever read out ever from the new book, which I'm going to be put together to be released in the summer of 2022. So I'm going to start with 2 small poems from the brand new book, which hasn't got a title yet, but I'm going to start putting together. Okay, I'm going to start off with a lump of flesh. I extracted the words from my heart, plucked them out one by one, pulled the membrane, the arteries, and the nerve endings. Blood drenched, I cut out the lump of flesh, brutally cut out the heart of me, the part of me that no one gets to see, exposing my vulnerability as I crafted my poetry. I presented it for you to see, for you to hear, but the words entered one ear and went out the other. As you simply stared, stone cold, smile forced, or watch you put your mask on, as I began to hemorrhage, as another poem left me, bled me dry. I remember you forgot to thank me for my heartfelt poem. I remember you never said goodbye. Thank you. This is another one from the brand new book called Dirty Finger. You plucked my heart with your dirty finger. You penetrated deep and let it linger. Etched into my heart, left a scar that continued to tear me apart. It's a burden that I carry that continues to grow and grow, like a grief and sorrow, like a hand grenade, a tumor that is set to blow. For you polluted my heart with your dirty finger. You kissed me for far too long. Let the love linger. Thank you. Okay, those are two poems from the hopefully from the next poetry collection, hopefully to be released in September. Sorry, in the summer of 2022. Okay, so I'm going to take you to some more romantic times. They were quite emotive poems, and as I was reading them, I felt yes, very emotional and very sad. Let's change the mood a bit, and let's get some warm and get some love into the air. This is from the Amazon bestseller. This is the book that I wrote with the fantastic Annette Tarpley called Two Hearts, and it's a very small poem. But this is one of the favorite poems of people, the fans, and the people that actually contact me, and it's called Arch the Moon. If you were to say yes, if you were to say it was true, then I would serenade under the stars, bring the moon to you. I would take your hand the way the lovers do. I would arch the moon. I would do it for you. Thank you. Okay, so that's called Arch the Moon. One of the most I get that requested a lot. It's called Arch the Moon, and that was actually from Two Hearts. I'm going to read it from my first book, which is this one, which is called 84 Pins, which is a very, very small book which I released in June of 2020, in the midst of actually lockdown. And here's a poem from there, which is called Take Me Away, and it's my third poem for today. So actually no, it's my fourth. It's my fourth poem. Take me away. I want to get away to sunny beaches, to sad cafes. I want to go to a place where nobody knows me, a place where I can be where I want to be, to swim in the oceans, to dive into the seas. I want to be engulfed in the brightness and the deep yellow. I want to be bound and cocooned in the beauty that is. I want to walk hand in hand. I want to sit and stand, walk under blue skies and on white sand. I want our bodies to intertwine the way they used to sit on idle balconies and look out of the view, while you look at me and I look at you. Take me away from all of this that surrounds me. I want to add some color to the dull and gray. I want to get away to sunny beaches and sad cafes, to memories of yesterday. Thank you. I think everyone is thinking like this, to get away, and that is called Take Me Away, from this book, the 84 Pins. And I'm going to take you to I'm going to end this little poetry session from my last book, which is the Amazon's. I think they called it the most recommended book for 2021, which is a nice surprise for me, called Stab the Pomegranate. And I'm going to end with a very positive note as we end 2021, because I believe, poets are the voice of the people, and we should be positive. So I'm going to end with Thrive. We don't just survive, we thrive in the most deadliest of terrain. Like flowing water, we make our way through rocks and stone. We rupture hearts, break through rocks and bone. When all is thrown at us, when the lights go out, when the wild waters begin to rise, we don't just survive, we thrive. We hang on to whatever we can find. We'll look on, we never look behind. We float on and on we shelter ourselves from the sun and rain, from bad vibes that may cause us pain. We shower ourselves with light so clear and bright, a white light that ignites a flame deep inside of us. When the world throws us from side to side, we tumble and turn, we collide, until we break through paths so brand new. We discover cracks between rocks and stone. We travel the world until we find the path that leads us to home. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarfraz. You have really moved each one of us who are listening today to your poetry.
Thank you.
And our next poet is Dr. Dimitris. And well, Dr. Dimitris is a medical doctor, he's a practitioner, and he's a poet. And he's the author of 9 poetry books in Greece and abroad. And he's also the editor-in-chief of International Poetry Anthology in English. And his works have been translated into more than 25 languages. And what has really touched me is that even the translations have been done in Bengali and Gujarati, the Indian languages. So welcome, Dr. Dimitris, and we are eagerly looking forward to listen to your poetry.
Thank you for the invitation. Congratulations for this poetry event. My poems are small. My first poem has the title To the Dead Poet of Obscurity, in honor of the dead unpublished poet. Well done, well done. You have won. You should not feel sorry. Your unpublished poems, always remember, have not been buried, haven't bent under the strength of time. Like gold inside the soil, they remain. They never melt. They may be late, but they will be given to their people someday to offer their sweet, eternal essence. The title, The End. The savor of fruits still remains in my mouth, but the bitterness of words demolishes the clouds and rings the snow, counting the pebbles. But you never told me why you deceived me, why with pain and injustice did you desire to say that the end always in tears is cast in a flash. You violated the borders which buried there know thyself. You destroyed prisons behind curtains, turned ablaze by the spark of your anger. Without cries, without whispers, in a flash, that symbol it was. You gave birth to light when you embraced what isn't told, although written in darkness. The next poem has the title Moving. We are naked now. We don't the colors. Addressed words and voices. We are blind now. we drank the light, swam in death. With alcohol and tobacco in our luggage, we testified falsely. Forgetting who we are, we built our life on a bird, and we flew again. Simply, we moved. The next poem has the title Illusions. Noises wrinkles on our forehead the frontiers of history, send oblique glances at Homer's verses. Illusions full of guilt redeem wounded whispers that became echoes in lighted caves of the fools and the innocent. Ideals. Snow-covered mountains, ancient monuments, a north wind that nods to us, a thought that flows, images imbued with hymns of history, words on signs with ideals of geometry. The next poem has the title Ashes. The fireplace was eager to put a full stop in the sentence where the round of my dreams stuck upon the word of happiness with sparkles of wet lungs, a collected from the side of me that had dared to turn to ashes. One word garments. Waves of circumflexes, storms of adverbs, windmills of verbs, shells of signs of ellipses. On the island of poems, of soul, of mind, of thought, one word garments you wear to endure. And the last small poem has the title Repetition. In the middle of the road, I came across an old mistake of mine, and I went past it, harassed to repeat myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dimitris. And now I request Antiges 10. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct.
Yes.
And Madam is from Germany, and though she is residing in Italy, and she is a poet, a visual artist, art curator, and a member of the German PEN. And besides writing, she's also organizing poetic artistic performances. And since 2020, she is curating the art poetry project Rucksack, a global poetry patchwork, which involves more than 250 international poets. With these words, I welcome you.
Thank you very much, Anupama, for this introduction. And thank you very much, Shalini, for inviting me. It's wonderful to see you all together here. For me, it's still a wonder that we can meet so easily and exchange ourselves. So the first poem I would like to read you, I wrote for the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Last year I wrote this. And it's reflecting somehow about what is the opposite of violence. And it starts in the beginning of humanity. As you all know, we are all born in Africa. And it starts with the first woman that the archaeologists found in Ethiopia, the oldest woman. Empathy is a learning path. Lucy is dead. She fell from a 12-meter tree at the beginning of our history. And we straightened up, believing ourselves to be rational, spiritual beings with a special place between angels and animals. Yet, our hearts are a noisy local market. The children have their hands full of sawn herbs. They crush spiders and ants. They chase each other with stones and sticks. And as strong men, they skip diplomatic procedures. The grammar of confrontation: act before the opponent does, and notify us with a tweet. The second one also is about a subject that is very heavy. You got the news about the refugees which were stuck in the forest between Polonia and Belarusia. And the problem of refugees is really, very strong. I mean, 80 million people are searching for a new place to stay and to survive. Is a population of Germany. Also, to imagine this, it's incredible. This is called unstitched threads. I like to show you the seeds of jasmine in the husk, lying in the minimum space, folded one on top of the other. Indistinguishable, silent life. Peel them from their pod, word by word. Isolated voices in the form of a parachute, seeking for a landing site. Freedom, a nice word, right? A sweater word, pulled over the head hundreds of times with a sure hand. Suddenly, it's a wrong way around. Unstitched threads dangle round the utopia of an open society. And the last one is reflecting on this media we use, and we use always more and more in this pandemic times. And it's called Earthworms, the Social Dilemma. I don't know who of you saw this film on Netflix, The Social Dilemma, which we're talking from inside what's happening on YouTube, on Facebook, and so on, and how we in reality are also manipulated. No algorithmic machine controls those who work in the underground, slowly, steadily, inside the earth, undervalued, with passages made of continuous excrements, and boredom cancelled out by dopamine shots. Our brain, a kind of Olympus, infinite divinities in search of identity. Vulnerability developed over millions of years. Simply a predictable model. What you like, how much you like it, and what you will like. The earthworm already knows. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay. Your poems are, in fact, the voices of the marginals. And our next poet is Joan Antelone Amero from Philippines. And she is also a poet and an author and an artist also, and has published An Unknown Princess. And she has also won the 3rd place in 2018 and the 2nd in 2020 at Migrant Worker and Refugee Poetry Competition. And her short story, My Little Friend and My Poems, was shortlisted in 2019 for the Taiwan Literature Awards for Migrants. Welcome, Joanne.
Hi and hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. And it's a pleasure. It is a privilege to be here. Thank you so much. So my first poem is about love with the title of Vows of Art. So here it goes. On this day, I completely hear you. Talking about something new, gearing up for a different view, unchaining the buckle that holds you. On this day, you plaster a smile that seems so distant for a while. Your eyes gleaming with happiness, your laughter is the music of joyfulness. On this day, you profess a sincere love. We shared affection from God above. We agreed there be no you or me, but us, caring for each other, just the two of us. On this day, we seal our love with rings, a sacred, precious bond, like magical strings. Till death do us part, our vows of art, that we wielded forever in our hearts. On this day, like the days we used to share, you bring solace that no one else can compare. A hug and a kiss that wakes every lazy atom in me. I love you like the first time I fall in love with you. So that is the first, and the second goes, veracity of pathos. Now is the time to set a fresh objective lucidly, and burns the curse of negativity. Winnowed out the people with the venom of toxicity. The munificence of boon and serves as inspiration, especially to those who lost their sense of motivation. Give love, filled with empathy and compassion, instill an intrepid attitude to diffuse heated situation. Never be neither too quick to judge or too quick in comparison. Not everyone is like you, so widen your comprehension. Illuminate your resplendent veracity of pathos. None of us is free from experiencing chaos of life. Go, support, and encourage others to start a new beginning. And that is the second, and we will have silvery sliver for the third. Oh, silvery sliver of expressive spectrum. Expect my curious, esoteric heart to roam, roving along with the wind in the Isle of Eros, all through the loneliness of the dusk. I lost in the wager of love where I felt I'm lost. Had given my all to the one that I love the most. However ample it wasn't been enough. Oh, my moon, concurrently let's moan and laugh, quelling all the painful memories that I paused. Were I supposed to be pleased by him who caused? Oh, my moon, consent me some decent rest, not a test, the stating a peace to my soul, may your light manifest. Oh, my moon, my silvery sliver, my spirit is now at ease. My nightmare cease, it was declared deceased. And the last one will be strong in faith. How happy is the blameless vestal's lot, a crystal clear trade that is liked by a blot. a pure soul of genuine gratified heart with a little or more gratitude must grant. How great it is to be content, heaven sent, no complaint relishing through, though empty scent. The gustatory delights of sweets and the taste of satisfaction with no definition. How pleasant is the strong strength like Samson, the load of the earth can carry to the moon, with stamina that furrows the garden and buried all the icky burden. How joyful is the faithful to God, pious, whom heart is set to the only righteous, whom to live life is being assiduous, whom the journey that comes across is glorious. How happy is the blameless spirit that remain contented and is strong in faith. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I cannot hear.
Thank you, Joanne, for your heart-touching selections, which you have shared with all of us today here on this platform.
I am
and now I request Samuel Acosta to share his poetry with us. And Samuel is a motivator, a poet, and storyteller, born in Dominican Republic, but now residing in New York. And he has studied business administration. And in 2016, he published his first work called Find Your Destiny. We are all very eager to hear you, Samuel. So what to you now?
Thank you so much. Thank you for this great opportunity for me to be able to share my relationship with writing and also to learn from different writers around the world, that even though that some of us speak different language, we can all meet in this beautiful language, which is English. And I feel so honored to be here. And today I'm going to read with you guys 3 pieces, and but also I kind of want to a little bit explain why did I create it. And the first piece that I will read with you is called Mother Earth. And I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, and I grew up with my grandmother. And in the backyard, we used to have which is avocado plant, lemon, plantain, orange. We used to have it all. And I got my grandmother showed me to have a respect to nature and to care about nature. And for me, it was a calling to kind of like share something with you guys that is part of my culture. And that's why I created this poem called Mother Earth. So here it is. Who I am. I am the art that sometimes forget to be. My roots reach between millions a year, patient and willing to understand the why of existing. Who are we? The humanity, it is commended. We are forests full of dreams that reside in your holy womb, Mother Earth. A little bird has landed on my chest, and it tell your story. And again, the afternoon falls asleep on your shoulders, admiring between silence every piece of your art created. I begly do write spring in words with a portion of your essence that flies like my leaf already dried in the graininess of your ease to find the beginning of it existing. This is the first one. And the second one is called Soy Black, I Am Negro. And the reason that I create this poem is because I feel like I do have what is it called? My ancestors are from Africa, and I kind of like want to dedicate this piece to them because there's a word in this poem that is called mestizo, and mestizo is basically like a combination of Europe, African people, and also the Indian, the Tainos that they were living in my country. So this is the reason why I kind of create this poem to embrace my African family. Soy black, I am negro. I am the mestizo boy with roots in Africa. My thick lips are full of life. They are the warm water lake where my soulmate's body can swim safely. Soy black, I am negro. My afro hair has the color of the earth where life is sown. My skin is in a chance path of history and culture. Soy black, I am negro. My skin color is like the night, which stands next to the moon in the crystal and sweet water of an oasis with joy. Together, tenderly, knocking half of the world in a wooden chair into falling asleep. Soy black, I am negro. My broad and large nose has a beauty that does not compare with a ruby. My ancestors' bones have built an entire civilization of wood, cement, stone, metal, and create homes for all inhabitants. Soy black, I am negro. My brown eyes are like the stars that reflect the eternal beauty of my soul. My skin color is the temple full of light, hope, dream, greatness. It is my home. Soy black, I am negro. That's my second poem. And my, thank you so much. And the final poem is called From Silent to Silent. And this piece I dedicated to Frida Kahlo, which was a Mexican painter. She was one that did not care about sharing her life story through painting. She shared her mystery, her pain, her fear of absolutely everything. And into today, her story inspiring women around the world to fight for the equality in all aspects of life. And there's two words in this poem that I kind of want to, explain to you so in that way you guys understand. And the first one is called Coyoacán. Coyoacán is the city where she was born, raised, and she died in that city. And the second one is Jimadora. Jimador is a type of farmer, original from Mexico. So they are dedicated to harvesting, which is called a fruit that is called agave. And this agave is used to make tequila, which is like an alcohol in Mexico. And Jimador is for men, and Jimadora is for women. And Jimadora is this word that is inside this poem. All right, so let's go. From silent to silent. Portrait, serene and silent. In front of a living wall, weaving events between lines with colors that linked heaven with earth. Great feminist heroine play with fears from brush to brush. You lived, displaying your woven wounds. Each piece showed the old Frida, capped in time, and rebirth in each color. Queen amongst flowers, fear traveler from silent to silent, Jimadora of ours in the lands of men's, that is explies gladness towards unknown stories. Blessed be Coyoacán to see, blessed be Coyoacán to see a star being born 1,000 times. Thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Thank you, Samuel. Well, poets are sensitive minds, and your poetry very effectively brings it out, the sensitiveness.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
And our next poet is Zalton from USA. And he's a book writer, novelist, critic, and internationally acknowledged bilingual poet and
I think
translator.
Zlatan is not here today.
He isn't joined.
No.
Okay.
Is Annette there? Just let me check. Actually,
who is going
battery,
to
her battery died, and she is about to join us, and she will be reading poems of Jill, because Jill is not well today. So just let me ask her if she is going to switch it on again, her laptop.
Yeah, she's there.
Yeah, is she here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Annette has come. She has joined.
I'll just read Jill's short bio and then
yes.
Continue. And we are all really missing her, and we wish her speedy recovery also.
She's really very lovely lady. I wish she could be there with us today. And yeah, we all wish and pray for her speedy recovery.
And Jill is from USA, and she has been nominated for Best of the Net 2018. And what is very interesting about is that several of her poems, including Let Peace In, have been the framework for her playlist of poetry videos created by Sparrow Productions of Sri Lanka. And all her poetry videos are archived on YouTube. And her debut, You Are the Poem, is a unique 3-themed collection, poetry and art book. Now I request Annette if she can read out some of her poems for us.
Yes, thank you. It's my pleasure to be reading my friend Jill's poetry today. She's a wonderful poet. So this is her new book that I will be reading out of. The first one is a poem called Until We Meet Again. I actually recited this for her on YouTube. Until we meet again, I see you when I close my eyes, the way you appeared in our bedroom on our last night of shared pleasure, a celebration of our hearts and bodies intertwined a final time. You stood before me naked, resembling a warrior, devoid of brilliant body paint. Fierce in your wanting me, some tiny part of your spirit gentled by my touches. Somehow you appeared relaxed, yet with nerves so raw, they danced feverishly upon my skin. Parallel emotions were revealed in your eyes. There exists the whole of a poem in those eyes, a magnificent poem. I know I will never write as my time is nigh. My mirror has changed, not entirely the result of a horrific haircut. If I could kick my heels 3 times, still it would remain a ghastly cut, that telltale chemo cut. Purple shadows have appeared beneath my eyes, bruises, angry eruptions, splatter across my back, my belly, scarred limbs upon my breasts, announcing the undeniable, weakening immune system. My defenses redefined in evidence. Often my eyes simply fill up with tears. They slip free, barely noticed, rarely acknowledged. You have been my world, my best friend, lover, husband, forever a muse, dancing always with grace and joy, drizzling warm oil of a muse's magic into my waiting palms, forever inspiring me, releasing the manna of my words, fitting themselves round each other to form sonnets and stanzas of love and adoration. My beloved, lean in closer, celebrate this unexpected gift with me. Press your lips to mine. They are warm, soft, supple, a joyous surprise. Amidst the morphine drip, hospice paraphernalia, sweet heart roses, in our last hour together, we have been given a magical gift to see one another as we appeared at first, blush in the splendor and magnificence of our earliest days. No need for messy farewells. We will rejoice in the knowledge that this is not an ending. It is simply another beginning, the first step of a different journey, a passage of time apart. I will meet you there soon enough when I have readied our new home, our forever home. So that is the first one of Jill's. Jill also wrote a poem for me recently, and it is dedicated to me in her book. It's called Contemplation of a Phoenix in Flight. On wings of doves, you begin in freedom. You have found an extraordinary voice, celebration of your journey's path forward. In tranquility, your words returned, a whispered within your heart, first denied, incessant, gentle nudges avoided, until you can no more deny those words. Their impassioned pleas that you could stop your heart from beating, your lungs from breathing, your pen from bleeding. Awaited, welcomed, your invitation accepted, sonnets and stanzas crafted, your declaration drafted in tears, haunted by fears, now an affirmation of strangers. Like the lotus of your greatest gifts grew greater in the ooze of mud, celebrate freedom earned, lessons learned. You, a magnificent phoenix, plumes of every hue, grandest of dreams, now yours to pursue. A vibrant blossom ablaze, fiery gems, your magical words. A beautiful phoenix, soaring tall, strong, proud, no doubts at all. Most magnificent of birds, most beautiful of all. Thank you, Jill, for writing that for me. And one last one from Jill, if I can find it. This is called A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, our first book club. It's for her mother, she wrote it. I found this book when I turned 9, sunburned, pool wet is how I came across it for the very first time. I was quoting whole passages from memory at 10, falling in love with the sad little family, reading their story over and over again and again. Francie was sweet, a girl of my age, like no one I knew, so much more than a character on a page. She was a latchkey kid before the term was ever known. No warm winter coat for the 12-block trek from school to home. Her dad was an immigrant from Ireland. He fled. His love songs and liquor, his once lovely wife, tucking his precious girl into her bed. Francie would hear him coming, an unmistakable baritone, charming porch sitters and well-wishers on his nightly walk. I love this book, found on a bookshelf in our living room one long hot summer afternoon. Did my mom read it first? Did she place it there for me to find? Does she recall our solemn discussions of Francie and her Irish waiter pa? His accented crooning made her Barnes heart leap and skip a beat every time she heard his drunken, plaintive, sweet Adeline listening through the open windows, watching as he crossed the street. We spoke for days of Francie's ma, old before her time, energy drained, exhausted body and soul, no twinkle left dancing in her violet eyes. an ancient love for her man, Johnny, in a language of resigned sighs. She scrubbed floors, endless steps until glossed, gleaming, shining, hurried home to her precious girl. That nighttime walk when she did her silent crying. She worried about leaving Francie alone each and every night. Those times when Johnny stopped in for a brew or two, the darts he loved to throw. Francie ate cold meals, had no milk to help her grow. Her mother was once pretty, soft curling locks of chestnut red. Her mostly drunken husband, once he was a charming lad. She had fallen in love with his voice. It made her heart sing. Still deep within her broken dreams, those heart bells he could ring. I recall those times with warmth and pray mom can still. It was a first of thousands of books read, stories shared, our special book for two, just us, the moment it all began. Thank you. Thank you, Jill, for your wonderful poetry. I'm one of your biggest fans, as you know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Annette. And before I hand over the mic to Dr. Shalini Yadav, I would like to thank each one of you on behalf of iSPELL. Today's session, in fact, Dr. Shalini has been the coordinator for the month of November, and she has given us a wonderful feast of listening to poets from across India, across the world. And today's this intellectually stimulating experience, listening to poets, and when you listen to poets from across the world on one platform, it gives you the feel that we are all one, and it is only the poets. And I mean it very seriously when I say that it is only the poets who can bring the world together, who can create peace in this world. Because for the poets, there are no boundaries whatsoever, we can say. With their simple words, I have been listening to you all. You have talked on a variety of issues, whether it is nature, flora, fauna, it's the cultural issues, or it is the abstract ideas and ideals. What is common, when after listening to you all well, I have also been forced to acknowledge that, well, we might have differences, but behind the differences, we have the unity. We all have a lot of commonality, and which needs to be appreciated and acknowledged. Thank you once again for giving us some very mind-provoking thoughts, but in a very simple, rhythmic language. And this is the beauty of poets, that they create colors and they bring color in the life of the readers, whosoever reads them. Thank you so much. We are overwhelmed to have you all on the iSPELL platform, and in future also, we look forward to listen to you. Thank you once again. Thank you. Yes, Shalini ma'am, it's over to you now.
I also feel the same, that I would not say much. I would just like to read a few lines of one poem, No Men Are Foreign, a poem by James Kirkip, and I will just read the first stanza of that to sum up the session. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. So I would say to all my friends,
Your voice is
esteemed poets and revered poets from heartfelt gratitude towards all of you and of invitation to be here with us today. And I express my gratitude towards Professor G. Ghanshyam sir, also founder and general secretary of iSPELL India, who gave me this chance, and Dr. Anupma Vora ma'am for showing faith, and all executive members. Now I would like to request Dr. Anupma Vora ma'am to honor our all guests with their certificates.
This is just a token of
Pramod
love
sir.
and regards to all of you.
Yes, yes.
First, Dr. Shalini ma'am, just you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's your turn now. Dr. Shalini ma'am, please present
Yes,
your
sir.
certificate. Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Pramod, you can move on to the second. I'm a part of iSPELL. I don't need a certificate.
No, I was asking Dr. Shalini ma'am to present for you.
No. And this certificate jointly, I and Shalini
No,
ji,
ma'am will do it.
Yes, yes, I know.
Shalini ji, we present it to Madam Annette Tarpley, and in honoring you, each one of you, we feel honored. So this is a humble appreciation to you.
Yes.
To Dennis Brown, we present this certificate of appreciation. It was awesome listening to you, and we hope, and in future also, you will be joining us on this iSPELL platform. Thank you, Dennis, for being with us today. Helen Serrita, we present this certificate of appreciation to you. Thank you for being a part of iSPELL today. So we present the iSPELL certificate of appreciation to Sarfaraz Ahmed for his very motivational poetry. Yes, it was wonderful listening to you because you are a doctor also and you have a passion for poetry also. And this is a humble acknowledgement to Dr. Dimitris. We request Annette to present on behalf of iSPELL this certificate of appreciation to Jill, and we look forward to have her on our platform anytime in the future, and all of us pray to God for her quick recovery. We really missed her today in this session. Thank you. This certificate of appreciation from iSPELL goes to Zalton, who was not here, but still we are presenting him. Antije, the certificate of appreciation from iSPELL to you, and we also look forward, like I've said, we look forward to each one of you to have us on this platform again. Thank you so much for sharing your work with us. John, this certificate of appreciation goes to you. Very touching poetry you recited. Well, I said earlier also, and I repeat, Samuel, we present this certificate of appreciation to you for your very sensitive poems.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes, may I request Professor Ghanshyam sir to present the next certificate.
Yeah, thank you very much. Am I audible, Pramod?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this poetry session has given us, as we are born human beings, and all the poetries of the world have made us to be being human. From human being to being human is a journey of each one of us. And poetry is one thing which can not only facilitate us, but it elevates us also. And elevation of ourselves, elevation of the self is the most important thing in this world. And poetry helps us to cross the borders and boundaries. It helps us to have wings and to
Voice gone, not audible.
the very essence of the poetic beauty. They are the people, those who live in a world with full of laughter and smile. They are the people, those who spread happiness throughout the globe. They are the people, those who cross the borders and boundaries and touch the hearts. They are the people, those who are known in this world as the prophets of love, peace, and harmony. And we have witnessed all these people on the platform of iSPELL today. And the evening was not only fantastic, but the evening was mesmerizing. So with these words, I present this certificate to Dr. Shalini Yadav, who has been the event coordinator for this month. She has brought all the beautiful flowers on the platform of iSPELL, and she is the one who has made this particular evening in India possible with the blossoms of beautiful flowers which were filled with emotions, feelings, and sentiments. She has brought so many new scholars on the platform of iSPELL. So iSPELL very proudly presents this certificate to Dr. Shalini Yadav for coordinating the event of the month of November. Dr. Shalini, please accept it. Dr. Shalini? Dr. Shalini?
I think Shalini ma'am.
Is she there?
Yes, yes. But the two devices are now, three devices are there.
Okay.
No, join.
Actually, the internet is not working here today well.
Yes.
So let the internal networks, though the internet is not working, let the internal net works. And poetry is making all of us to work internally. At the same time, we can connect with the people. So this certificate goes to you, Dr. Shalini, for doing the honors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
It was really nice to listening to all the people, those who were on the platform of iSPELL from different corners of the world. And Helen was there on the platform of iSPELL previously also. And we have invited Helen to the Reva University also when we conducted the international FDP program. So we know Helen Serrita quite well. But as far as others are concerned, I'm telling you without any doubt, all of you are so precious gems of this beautiful world, that this beautiful world needs people like you who can not only make the people to understand the essence of poetry, but at the same time, you are the people, those who are giving a kind of a light for the people to grow and glow. So glowing is very important. And you people will always be invited on the platform of iSPELL. And we have another platform for the international people. We call it I Feel. If this is the platform to spell, then there is another platform which is internationally acclaimed, which is known as I Feel. So there we feel and here we spell. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes, over to Dr. Shalini.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your nice words. Yeah, we would like to end the session now, and without acknowledging the efforts of Pramod sir, the event cannot be ended. So first of all, I would like to thank everybody present here, all our esteemed poets who made our evening a very blessed one. And finally, I would like to thank Ghanshyam sir and Anupma ma'am to give me this chance to coordinate the events of November month. And at the end, I would like to thank Pramod sir for all his technical support in making flyers and certificates, and even arranging all Zoom meetings and YouTube live streaming and all that. So I thank everybody. Have a good day ahead. And who are in India, have your dinner and relax.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all, and thank you, Dr. Shalini. You made November a wonderful month for each one of us. Thank you.
This is all because of your blessings, ma'am, and Ghanshyam sir and Pramod sir's support.
Yes, we all work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ending the meeting. Yes, sure.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Helen.
Thank you, everyone.
Annette.
Thank you.
Sir.